Super Pro handheld tilt shot. That's Mount Hood. No fancy drone shots here, strictly iPhone for now at least. Here's a spot I found, clearly an established campsite with a fire ring. Fortunately, wildfire season is over for the moment, so it should be okay to build a fire because it's real wet out here. And this is my backyard for the night. Here's a quick tour of the setup for now, and it's still pretty much a stock 4th gen 4Runner. There's mods coming in soon, but I've got the basics. Okay, it's time to set up because the sun's going down real soon. Okay, here's a preview of the spread. It looks like a mess, but it's really not all that much stuff. Today I'm making a Korean stew called JJIGAE. Doenjang is a fermented soybean paste. It's kind of like the Korean version of miso, but don't say that to any older generation Koreans because that'll definitely piss them off. Jjigae means stew. It's thicker and usually a lot saltier than soup. So for a stew, and usually the first thing I like to do when I get to site in the colder months is to boil some water. Chances are you're gonna need some hot water for something, and I need a lot more than just an Nalgene full, so here comes a big blue jug. To make the broth, you need these dried anchovies called myeolchi. You'll find them in the freezer section of any Korean supermarket. You could always sub veggie broth if you're vegan or you don't like the idea of fish stock. But honestly, it works the best for this stew. Okay, now we need to get a second burner going for this bag of white stuff. Come on, focus. Now, I pre-measured the rice at home. It's about 2 cups. I'm about to commit a cardinal sin here, which is I forgot to wash the frickin' rice. It's supposed to be super premium quality pre-washed rice, actually, so I feel a little less bad about it. I promise you, it tasted fine. I didn't get sick, but it was goopier, if that's the technical term, than it should have been. Okay, the little fishies have done their part now. I don't know why I'm stirring here, just some neurotic reflex or something, I guess. Next we gotta add our meat, which is pork. I like these little cube bits that still have some meat and fat and bone on them for a richer flavor. It's usually marked as for stew. You can get it in any Korean supermarket, and if you're vegan, I'll provide suggestions for a substitution later. Ooh, a knife. Time to cut stuff. Wait, not that one. This is a zucchini. One's big enough for this. When everything's said and done, it comes out to be about 4 healthy servings. I feel like the minimum that you can make of any stew or soup is about 4 servings anyway. Cut it up into chunky half moons because they tend to disintegrate real fast. Next up is a big potato. You want to cut it up into small cubes. Like, think about what you'd see in the New England clam chowder or Dinty Moore beef stew. Oh, by the way, I pre-wash all my vegetables at home because I don't want to spend time at site washing vegetables. What's that saying? Measure once, cut twice? I don't know. I must have been lost in thought or something. Alright, put the potatoes in first because they're going to take the longest, and the starch helps to thicken up the stew. I like my stew real thick. Little salt. Real precise measurements here. I think it's 22 grams, the weight of the human soul, plus an extra gram for good measure. Oh yeah, that looks real safe. I'm using an MSR Pocket Rocket, which is more for ultralight camping. In retrospect, I should have just brought out my 2-burner propane stove. Okay, this here is a spicy Korean green pepper that I have no idea what it's called in English, but in Korean it's called putgochu. Gochu means pepper, and it's also slang for something else that's long and cylindrical. You can figure that one out. These are pretty spicy, so I take out a lot of the seeds, which is where the capsaicin is held. The spice.
He who controls the spice controls the universe.
Random Dune quotes, anyone? I'm not actually a big spicy food addict like a lot of other Koreans, so that's why I'm shaking the seeds out. I know a lot of people like to brag about how spicy they like their food, but good luck with that in the morning. Next up is something special I like to do for my version of this stew. Shrooms. No, these aren't psychedelic, but I guess they could be if you want. Good luck with that in the morning. I just pick up whatever cool looking mushrooms I find at the supermarket. You can use pretty much any flavorful mushroom here, like porcini, portobello, whatever. The traditional recipe calls for pine needle mushrooms, and those are usually hard to find here in the States. Oh, enoki mushrooms are really good on top too as well. Okay, here are all the veggies cut up. Yeah, those are onions back there. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I cut up the onions at home. I just don't want to be teary-eyed and have onion fingers for the rest of my camping trip. And I was already doing all this prep work at home. I'm fidgeting around here a lot because I should have put the peppers on the side. I like to put the peppers in last to monitor the spice level. If you leave them in too long, it can make the stew too spicy, and also the peppers can get a little bit bitter. So usually I wait until the onions are more or less translucent. Okay, now we got all the veggies in with the pork and the fish broth. And I don't know why I'm hesitating here, but in go the rest of the shrooms. Okay, and the rice is almost done. You don't need a fancy rice cooker or anything out here in the woods, but it helps if you use something that's non-stick. I'm using ceramic cookware by Kovea, a Korean brand. This here is tofu. This one's organic from non-GMO sources. It comes in half-block packages, which is perfect because we only need a half block. This should go in last. You want to drain it out into your trash bag. Make sure that you're not contaminating the nearby environment. And cut it up into little cubes. Okay, this here is the main ingredient. I'm going to say it slowly. DWENJANG. Say it normally, DWENJANG. And that's why this dish is called DWENJANG or soybean paste stew. It either comes in round or square containers like tubs at the Korean supermarket. And it's already seasoned, so the regular Japanese miso stuff won't cut it. They're just different. And yeah, up close it looks and smells a little bit like doo-doo. You're gonna need like 3 or 4 heaping spoonfuls of this doo-doo paste. Like I said, put in the tofu last. It cools down the temperature and adds more water content, so you just gotta keep that in mind. Time to bring the stew to a boil. And in the meantime, I gotta get started on the fire. It was super wet out, so I'm not gonna show you the whole entire process because it was honestly just a pain in the ass, and the iPhone footage in the dark is ass as well. Okay, here's the moment we've been waiting for. It's almost done. After it comes to a full boil, you gotta let it simmer and reduce down a bit to your liking. Like I said, I like mine real salty and thick, so I like to let it reduce a lot. I'm fishing out some of the pork bits with bone so that I don't accidentally chomp down on them and break my teeth, which I've actually done before. Plus they're a nice little appetizer while I'm waiting for the stock to reduce. Alright, here we have it. It's DWENJANG with a healthy scoop of rice. Sometimes I go for a bowl of stew with the rice on the side, but this time I'm going more for like a curry style, like stew on top of rice. Also, because I'm just too lazy and hungry at this point to go dig around for a bowl. So that's it. I made DWENJANG in Mount Hood. Could be the first time that's ever been done. I don't know. If you know otherwise, let me know in the comments below. Now I'm going to eat my jjigae by the fire and watch the stars. This was all shot on iPhone, and I'm just getting back into making videos after a long hiatus. So if you want to see more videos like these, leave a comment. Be sure to hit the like button and tap the notification bell to make sure you get notified for new videos as they... I can't do that. Thanks for watching.